multiple illegal rent increases. That's a prospect I just got off the phone with. Interesting story. Hi, my name's Paul. I'm the owner and broker of Mission City Property Management. I just do rent property management in the Santa Barbara area. I'm born and raised and with over a decade of experience before launching my company with a people first approach. So this owner's had this tenant in there for 20 plus years. And anytime you have really long-term tenants, which is fantastic, generally you're way below market. And this owner had been doing 10% increases every year, every other year recently. And with the last increase, the tenant went through and gave them a legal response notice. And then the owner reached out to me and said, oh my God, what do I do? Am I wrong? So the owner was wrong. There's been just since 2023, 12 state law changes, big and small, that impact rentals. Locally, between our city and counties, we've had an additional 11 laws that have been passed impacting residential, single family, multi-unit homes. And this guy had a lease that was 20 years old. So he was missing the AB 1482 just cause rent cap and exemption form, which specifically says, hey, if you have not notified your tenant in writing that property they rent, usually houses and condos, is exempt, that means it falls under all of the state and local ordinances. And that means the owner couldn't be doing these 10% increases. They should have been doing the 5% plus CPI. And I said, I'm not an attorney, but this looks like a valid interpretation. And the tenant was demanding no increases, or basically they adjusted and figured out how much the owner illegally increased. Now, is it illegal? Totally. The owner messed up. Was it intentional? No. And that's most owners, especially that have been doing it themselves. And I also pointed out that even with the last 10% rent increase, the property's still below market over 35%. So with the people first approach, I talk to the owner and say, hey, like, if you want to hire, bring me in. This is so like complicated at this point. You need to hire me to bring me to clean everything up. And I would just have a professional now involved. And at the end of the day, they were uncomfortable paying a manager. They're like, oh, this is too overwhelming. I'm like, hey, not a problem. And that's what I'm running into again and again, where they know they're not staying up to date. They just actually got a giant warning shot. Like, an attorney wasn't involved, but the tenant's like, you're doing things wrong. I pointed out, yes, you're doing things wrong, and there's probably a lot more you're doing wrong. And here's the cost to get that better. And I'll probably have my costs covered for you within the first 3 months, because generally I'll work an increase in there to cover the cost of bringing in a professional. And at the end of the day, they're like, no, this is too overwhelming. I'm like, all right, best of luck. I hope it goes well. And that's what I'm running into with a lot of these legacy owners. I hope they learn fast, because things are changing fast. Like and follow if you want to hear more about property management industry and local insights.